Hello, everyone, and welcome to Music Industry Insights Worldwide. Today we've got Roberto with us. Hi, Roberto. How are you?
I'm very well in yourself.
Not too bad, thank you. Got a bit of sinusitis, but I'm all good. I'm here and I'm alive and kicking. How about yourself?
Oh, wonderful. 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 Thank you so much for having me on your incredible show.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much. Do you want to tell our listeners a little bit more about yourself, where you're from, and what you do?
My name is Roberto Groats. I go by the stage name of ZiizoAfrica.
Okay.
Um, Zizo is abbreviation of my two lovely daughters,
Okay.
which is, and my firstborn is named Music,
Yeah.
after music,
Yes.
and we call her Zika, and
Okay.
that's where Z comes in. And then the second born is called Zoe, which
Oh,
also
so
means life.
lovely.
Yeah, Zoe, which means life,
Yeah.
which is the Zo, so Z, Zo. So, and then obviously Africa, because I am from Africa, South Africa in particular.
Africa. Yeah.
But
Diamonds
then the
in the road.
diamonds, gold, beautiful people,
Diamonds in the road, should
sunshine.
we say? Yeah,
What
that's
is that?
yes. And how long have you been in music and what do you do?
I've been in music my whole life.
Yeah.
Honestly speaking, I grew up in what we call in South Africa a township, where it's an informal settlement.
Mm,
And my parents used to own a shebeen, which is a pub.
okay.
And in the local shebeens in South Africa, music was the only thing that could keep us encouraged and motivated
Yes.
and joyful for that matter.
Right.
And from a very young age, I used to be called by people visiting our establishment the whistle,
Okay.
because I used to whistle along the songs the whole time. You get what I'm saying?
It's a
I saw
lot.
that you love
Yeah,
I saw that you love Mariah Carey. We used to listen to her. We used to listen to Whitney Houston and all those phenomenal artists, and then whistle the songs. And then I was also given the task of playing music for the guest, I would
uh-huh.
assume, or the clients.
Yeah.
And that was from a very young age. I became familiar with especially Motown soul, the likes of Marvin Gaye and Stevie Wonder and those type of guys.
Yeah.
And my taste in music grew from there, as I was given the responsibility of playing music
Awesome.
for the elders. Yes,
Do you know what my granddad used to say to me? If you can't whistle, you can sing. And if you can sing,
exactly.
back in the day.
Yeah.
And it's so funny you mentioned about pubs. Now it's about community, but it's also about tribes. How important is that?
Yes.
Representing your tribe and representing your culture.
So in South Africa, I come from what they colored African.
Yes.
Um, and our great phenomenal artist by the name of Tyler
I love
forms
that.
part. You
Yeah.
love her. She's phenomenal. She's insane. She's
Yeah.
just great.
I love
And
that. Yeah.
yes, and so Tyler represents us well as a culture and as a community. But you would know that South Africa, in particular, is a very diverse nation. We've got
Yeah.
African black people, we've got African whites, Indian. We're just a rainbow nation for that matter.
Yeah.
And and hence there's no boundaries when it comes to representing our culture because we include everyone.
That's brilliant. And it's a bit like North Africa as well. I used to live in Morocco for a couple of years. Very diverse, very multicultural, but also very creative because there's not much money, right? So people are
Yes.
very creative.
And the music allows us to dream, and the music allows us to be alive for that matter and to
Yeah,
cope.
absolutely. And how important has hope been for you and kept you going?
Hope is everything to me. Hence, I've just released this beautiful track, which is gaining such a lot of traction
Yeah.
right throughout South Africa, and it's picking up in Africa even.
Mhm.
And it speaks about just women and all of us just having to keep the focus going and to keep a sane mind and to take care of ourselves from a mental point of view
Yeah.
and just make sure that what we hold firmly to our futures and believe in it again. It's so important.
That's really, really important, Roberto. And can I ask you a question? What brought you to music in the first place? What was it that grounded you to music and made you say, I want to make a career here, and this is what I'm going to do?
My community, my community, because in South Africa and where I'm from central South Africa originally,
Yeah,
which is the Free State region. And I grew up in a community called Heidedam, which which is very much unemployment is rife,
yeah,
uh, and it's a very much
really
poverty-stricken
right.
place.
Yeah,
And I represent that. You get what I'm saying? There's a lot of youngsters that needs positive role models and that needs to keep that life and that hope alive, rather. And that's where I come in from that point of view to say, listen here, music, specifically in South Africa, it's such a powerful trait
yeah.
globally
It's unique.
that that if we can enjoy platforms like yours and get the word out, then the spotlight can fall upon South Africa and our tremendous talents.
Yeah. I always want to shine a light on people that don't generally have a platform. How hard has it been for you, especially in South Africa, to build that global network of creators? Because I know you've always been a creative country. You've always had great culture and music.
The African rhythm exists. It moves a lot of people,
It does.
but and it's worldly known.
Mhm.
It's made a name out of us from the days way back with the likes of Fela Kuti and Brenda Fassie
Yeah,
and Hugh Masekela and all those brilliant guys. Like, I mean, Jonathan Butler is a renowned
I know.
Grammy-nominated
Yeah,
artist,
I need to say,
which,
like, yeah,
uh,
great
say
artist.
again,
Yeah,
great artist. And he's a mentor to me. He's also one of my clients because I'm also in the hair industry.
okay.
And whenever he comes to Cape Town, we link up. But
Yeah,
I mean, just a few people that have paved the way for us. And it's important for us as a new generation just to maintain that legacy and
okay.
that heritage of arts.
And did you have a musical education when you got into music, or did you just do it from a passion?
You know, like many South Africans, we have an informal musical type of education
Yeah.
because of our challenges in our country. And I was just reading up this morning, like 8% of women specifically has been to school in our country. That number is
Very low.
just devastating.
Yeah.
I mean, you get what I'm saying? 8% have was taught music in school and made a life
Okay.
or a career out of it, for that matter.
Yeah.
So those are the numbers and those are the challenges that we have in South Africa, um, across the board.
But why do you think that?
And
And why? What's going on? What's caused that?
I think it's got a lot to do with development of artists
Mm.
from a schooling grassroots point of view
Uh-huh.
until you go to tertiary and you have actually the support and the backing of institutions, or governments for that matter,
Yeah.
that would make sure that young artists or potential artists or those that want to be singers or actors get the necessary funding to be able to apply, or bursaries for that matter. And that those are the challenges that we have in South Africa. There's not enough of such.
I think that's universal. I think we have the same problems here in the UK. But what I do find is a lot more money is now going into women and funding women to find that equal balance. Do you think it's a cultural issue that you have in South Africa where women are not respected as much as men? Women are not seen as equals.
In our sports specifically, there was a huge issue with regards to, and when I mention sports, I mean to say that that's where most of the spotlight is because of our national teams that represents us.
Yeah.
And there was an issue with regards to women, that needs to earn the same money as men, which I totally agree because sometimes the woman actually over exceeds on the sporting ground,
Yeah.
and that's got a lot to say also with regards to music. And I feel it's about time that our ladies worldwide get the platform, get the support, and be supported in their quest to becoming the Tylas of this world.
Yes, absolutely. And Tyler's done such a great job. You know, she's brought out some amazing tracks. We've got Tyler from South Africa. We've also got Tyler the Creator as well. Because I had someone on the show last night that was talking about Tyler the Creator. So I was a bit confused, but I know which one you're talking about now. And I do like Tyler. I think she's great. Where do you think her influence came from? Because I look at her and it reminds me of Aaliyah quite a lot. You know, I get quite a lot of Aaliyah coming from Tyler. So do you think that's influenced her?
I think Johannesburg firstly has influenced the sound.
Okay.
Johannesburg in South Africa. Johannesburg is rich culturally. We are tremendous artists. I've also stayed in Johannesburg, and I'm sure you've heard about Johannesburg and just the vibe over there.
Of course I have.
And it's yes, yes. There's big vibes over there. I mean, from an Afro house or an Afro pop or Afro beats point of view, or Amapiano, or that
You've got
matter.
massive reggae as well down there. You've got loads of Rastas as well, right?
We have a big Rasta community,
Yeah.
and that's one of the other things. I mean, they are also so, how can I say, marginalized, if
Yeah.
that's a better word.
Mm.
And I just hope that, through conversations like this, that more conversations can come up where the Rastafarians and women and everyone can just be advocated for,
Yeah.
and us being a voice for the voiceless kind of thing.
Absolutely. And I think you've influenced a lot of the world when it comes to Brazil, when it comes to the United States, when it comes to Jamaica and the Caribbean islands. How much of importance do you think it is now to build the infrastructure in Africa, make sure that Africa gets fed, gets looked after, also gets the recognition it deserves?
It's majorly important because, as Africans artists, we
Mhm.
always create masterpieces
Yeah.
and albums and singles and a sound like Amapiano now that are just phenomenal. But then we export it to, and those type of profits never return back to Africa.
Right. They never come back to the
It's,
artist, do they? That's
it
the
never
problem.
comes back to the artist, and the
Yeah.
artist can't take it to the community
Yeah.
to go and rebuild those structures. So there's a lot of things that are out of place, and I mean we need to learn from guys like yourself
Oh,
when it comes to building structures and solid
the
foundations for
grassroots up. Not it's not from
yes,
the top, it's not from the top down, it's from the bottom up. Absolutely.
exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. But you see, there's such a little and few success stories that comes from Africa.
Mhm.
Um, that when somebody makes it out there in the world, then it's almost like they forgot that, I need to give
Where
back
it come from? Yeah, never
where I come from.
exactly. And my nan always talked. I was brought up by my grandparents. Both my
Okay.
parents were deaf and disabled, so it was quite tricky for me. But music was my release. Music was my,
Yes,
and my grandparents always taught me never forget where you come from, and always
absolutely.
represent your community and give back.
Because that community is they are usually your foundation. They're your first listeners. They're your audience. They're the ones that knows your story, that where you come from. I was a young boy that performed at talent shows. And I mean, I'm still known for that. And people support me and say, wow, you have been so sustainable. Although I have pursued a lot of other careers and paths,
Mhm.
but now that I've released my single, people are still remembering me for, being a beacon of hope for those that's in that community. So it's so important to always go back and to plow back into your community and bring other people up also. And I think that is what we lack in Africa, in South Africa, that we need to have a musical community of artists and creatives that can support one another and not be envious of one another and then at the end of the day forget
Absolutely.
each other.
That's what I've always said. It's not competition. Because I think a lot of people look at music like a sport. And they're quite similar, but they're quite different. The difference is if you build community instead of competition, you can get way further than you could ever could if you start competing with everyone. Because it's not about competition.
If I can add to that, there can never be competition if you are authentic.
Yes. No
You
one else
cannot
can
have
do that.
competition if no one else does what you do.
Yeah.
And that's exactly my sound. I can't focus on who is above me or who is less than me. I can only focus on the message that I represent
Yes.
through my sound and through my storytelling. And as creators and artists, we need to find that within us, that identity, and say, you know what? I am called for this.
Yes.
This is my sound. This is my destiny,
Story as
and
well.
I will flourish. I will flourish in it and actually contribute to the holistic music industry.
Absolutely. And you've also talked about, your story. How has that shaped you and where you come from? And what kind of music do you represent?
I represent authentic South African music.
Mhm.
Um, we are proud to have a sound called Amapiano,
Yeah.
but there's also a new wave that's called three step.
Okay.
Okay,
And what's that?
okay. So the beat breaks with three steps. You get what I'm saying, basically. And we say three step is just the private school of Amapiano because Amapiano can
Okay.
be a bit wild and a
Me.
big party. Yes, but three step is a bit mellow and soulful, and
Yeah.
the vocals come through, and you can actually tell a much more impactful story for
Yeah.
that matter. So I choose that genre because of wanting to relate to the people
Hmm.
and wanting to spread a message. And particularly my first track being about women,
Yeah.
that is exactly why I entered into that genre.
And you talk about three step, it kind of reminds me a bit like reggae, because reggae was very three rhythm beats. Is that
Yes, yes. Yes, there's influence definitely from that point of view. So it makes sense. And I mean, Bob Marley was it
yeah.
was I mean one of our legends, and
Icon.
I mean we all listen to his music.
Uh,
So music always comes from somewhere. It's just as South Africans we have learned to adapt and make something our own. And we come up with Amapiano and three step and all these type of things to represent us as a country.
and how do you think that's going at the moment? How are you doing?
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I mean, the numbers speak for itself. I think just from a downloading point of view with Spotify, I think we contribute like in that specific genre like 40% of downloads or something like that. The growth is phenomenal, 22% per annum. It's just out of this place. And the money is there.
Mhm.
But unfortunately,
Going to the right.
there's a lot of sorry.
It's not going to the right places. That's the problem,
It's
right?
not going to the right places. And that's another aspect, Saskia, that we need to look into because education to the artists is so important. Workshops and
Yeah.
training,
Yeah.
and just getting everyone to understand the business side of music also.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of networking over there? Do you have a lot of conferences and educational panels that people can go to?
A little, um, a little. I would wish that, more international type of bodies or institutions would get involved and just, invest also more
Yeah,
into these type of things. Sometimes education is key, knowledge is power. We all know those sayings.
absolutely.
But I think also, investors shouldn't be scared to come to South Africa or Africa for that matter,
Yeah.
because you can always contribute through workshops or training or speaking for that matter at these type of things or pioneering such.
Got so much to offer, and you've got such a beautiful country, and such beautiful people in your country. I think you
We
deserve
have.
what you've always had, but on a global stage.
That's right.
Yeah. So, what can we do to see the music industry improve in South Africa in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years,
Yeah.
I personally think that first and foremost, um, ownership,
Hmm.
because like I said previously, we have where we come to a point where, it's like in sport. I remember growing up in my region,
Yeah.
and because we're so talented, the big unions would then come into our province or region, and they will scoop you up and take you to another province,
Hmm.
and then you become a
Them.
Western Province cricketer or whatsoever,
Yeah.
and you're no longer in your own
Region.
community or city.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's got to say the same with the music. Africans, the talent, the resources, everything's get taken overseas,
Hmm.
and then, like we said, nothing gets back. So if we can bridge that gap and have mentorship programs and people that can say, listen, for once we're putting Africans first also in
Yeah.
terms of ownership
Yes. Yes.
and build structures and things like you know just the technical aspect and helps also for them.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we need streaming apps. We need, social media data to be owned. We need those type of things
You need to
so
give
that we can
community. You need to reinvest that money, right? It needs to go back
we
to
need to invest that money.
yeah.
Exactly. And that is one of the things that we need to focus in first. Because it's not to say that there's no money that's generated through music in South Africa. There
Mm.
is money, definitely,
Yeah.
but it's how we spend the money
Yeah.
that will recreate more artists and that can create a sustainable market share.
That's brilliant. And what about music education and what about the schools? Do you support arts and crafts in schools? Do you teach children how to do that? Is there any of that infrastructure?
So thank you for asking that beautiful question.
That's okay.
2025, April the 11th,
Yeah.
I had a privilege to take Grammy nominated Jonathan Butler, which is a phenomenal artist.
Hmm.
I took him to my city of birth, which is Bloemfontein,
Okay.
which is the arts and the music are forgotten there.
Yeah.
It died a long time ago,
Yeah.
but it was my heart's desire to rejuvenate it. And
Oh,
I went to him and I said to him, you need to help me giving these kids hope again and allowing them to make music again for that matter.
yes.
And we went to Bloom and we had a beautiful master class where almost 600 children attended. And I tell you what, it was so beautiful to witness because in the middle of a class, some of the guys were stood up, left, and I'm like, where you going? They're like, we
Smile.
inspired. We're going straight to the studio now. We don't need any other motivation to do this.
Mhm.
We have just realized that we've got a lot to offer and we're doing that.
Yeah.
And we need that's that's from my point of view. I would love to have more master classes and to have more artists come on board from the worldwide. I mean, you can tap in just linking up to a Zoom meeting and speak to hundreds of
Together,
kids.
it's a collaboration, like you said. It's like what Tyler's doing. She's representing your country, but she's also bringing, the global stage to look at your country and say, look, we have talent. This is what we can do, and we can do it good. And this is what.
Well, Tyler is a true ambassador for that, and it comes back to the point what we said, like don't forget where you come from.
Absolutely.
Um, and she's doing that. She's bringing artists to South Africa. All of a sudden, American artists. She's linked up with Central C that's from the UK,
That's right.
and inviting everyone just to come to South Africa, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And it's great, but also, South Africa, how do people invest? How do people come to you and find out more? How can they do that? And, try and make something if they want to in your country. How could they do so?
So, so thanks for asking that question. Obviously, I mean, people can contact me,
Yeah.
and we can build conversation and networks. Um, I am on all social media platforms as ZiizoAfrica,
Yeah. Yeah.
ZIIZO.
I believe that.
And I mean, if I can't help or I can't assist or I can help grow or build, I can always refer. You
Mm-hmm.
get what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
there's a lot to do in South Africa, and there's a lot of return of investment for anyone out there.
Okay.
They're saying, listen, here, South Africa or Kenya for that matter,
Yeah.
or Uganda or Nigeria or
Yeah.
Cameroon.
Yeah.
It's beautiful
All countries.
countries.
Ivory Coast. Don't
It,
forget them as well.
yeah, yeah. It's and the talent is there. It's just, we don't have the support always, and we don't have trustworthy people
Yeah.
that won't exploit also, specifically
Exploited
when it
Africa from
comes
day
to.
one. Africa's always been exploited. And I think this is where we need to return some of that money back. But also, I think, a lot of us in Africa struggle financially. If you haven't got the money, how are you going to make it? And this is where we struggle a lot with talent, isn't it?
It's so difficult. And also, I mean, there's not a lot of funding opportunities when it comes to them. You get what I'm saying? It's not like the UK or the US where there's a lot of support for the artists when it comes to funding or
Yeah,
institutions for that matter.
yeah,
But also, it comes from a literacy point of view. Also, we've got still villages in Africa who doesn't have internet access for that matter. So
exactly.
you sit with the talent, but then they don't know how to use, technology to be able to
To give
build their careers.
right?
Yes, 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 yes. So there's a lot of challenges, but there's also a lot of good people out there in South Africa and Africa which have formed things like non-profit organizations and things like that.
Yeah,
But sometimes it's also not easily accessible.
no,
That's the other challenge. You get what I'm saying?
yeah. I also get like traveling costs, rising costs in living, instruments, education, they all cost money. So when you're coming from a background that's not always providing those opportunities for you, how can you see that evolve in South Africa, where regardless of your background, you can still try to succeed?
It's through collaborations like yourself,
Hmm.
first and foremost.
Yeah,
And then the internet has become our doorway to the world
yeah,
because long gone are the days of recording deals or selling a CD
mhm,
and having to distribute it to the world, to a specific, you know what I'm saying, company
platform.
or distributor.
Yeah, that will
These
take
days,
money.
you can, these,
Yeah,
yes, yes. So these days, the kids can go on TikTok.
yeah,
They can they can put their work up on Instagram.
mhm,
But also that's another thing. And I was speaking to an events coordinator the other day,
yeah,
and I asked her, why don't you guys feature artists that's from a local region? You
yeah.
always get in the more established artists to come and perform at festivals and concerts
They sell the tickets.
and to sell the tickets.
Yeah.
But then she answered another thing. She said, it's because of the quality of work.
Okay.
Because most of these artists can't afford to go to proper recording studios. And when they submit their works, it's not a great quality sound.
They
So they can't
because
feature them.
they haven't got the right people on board as well. It's a team.
They haven't got the right people on board. And my heart also is to establish recording facilities, especially in schools, where it's accessible to local artists
Yeah.
or underprivileged artists so that they can, and I'm actually in the works with regards to that, so that they can come into studio, do voiceovers, record music,
Go
or
on.
just, you get what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, put
Experience.
bread on their table or get a demo tape
Yeah.
like we all did back in the day. You get a demo tape, you go to a restaurant, you go to an open space, and you play music, and people throw money in the basket.
Yeah.
And that's the least we can do. And people, you know what I'm saying? I'm speaking to a few friends and potential investors, and it's not always about money, physical money. If you have a guitar or a keyboard or a sound card or a chair, that contributes towards building a room and a studio.
Yeah.
And that's all we need these days. It's not a big investment for us to get going.
Just get involved and just,
Just get involved.
part of something. And I think that's lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank
Like,
you.
Roberta, how can the listeners connect with you, find out more? If they want to collaborate, if they want to communicate with you, if they want to invest, how could they do so?
So I go by the name of Roberto Groats.
Yeah.
Um, and I go by the stage name of ZiizoAfrica,
Yeah,
which are mostly my social media handles.
yeah. I'll leave all those.
It can it can also be found on digital stores like your Spotify.
Yeah,
Um, and I have an email address which is also grootesroberto@gmail.com.
okay.
So if people want to connect with me through that also and learn more about South Africa in particular, and our sound and want to get involved, form a network or community, that would be amazing.
And do you know what I would say to people as well when it comes to South Africa? Adopt an animal. Make sure you save the wildlife. Look after that beautiful country that you have because it's absolutely amazing. Tabletop Mountain is one of my favorites. Still got
Yes, yes.
in there. Yeah, but I'm coming soon for sure.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. And when you're in Cape Town, you're more than welcome to visit and to meet up. And I hope that our conversation can continue from just this that we have here today.
Oh, thank you so, so much. And is there any major wins and successes you want to share with us before you go?
Sorry, just repeat that again.
Any major wins or successes you want to repeat before you go? Sorry, because my window's open. You can hear the builders in the background.
No problem. Um, you know what? My win is today. Thank you so much, Saskia, for allowing me to speak on behalf of artists and speak on behalf of just women in general.
Oh,
That's not always treated fairly. And my win is you granting us the opportunity to let the world know that South African Africa plays a big role musically,
it's my privilege.
and
So
we have a lot to offer and to contribute. And this is my win today,
you.
in meeting you
Well,
and your community. And thank you for that.
thank you. And likewise, it's been awesome. Just speaking with you, just having a chat. It's early morning for me, 9 a.m. in the morning or half nine. I was up until 4 last night doing interviews all around. But, I love meeting new people. I love connection.
Yes,
I'm building
thank you,
meaningful
sir.
relationships. And that's what this is all about. Keep up the amazing work. And thank you so, so much.
I will do so, and you also likewise. Thank you
And
so much.
yeah, and hopefully we'll see each
Thank
other
you.
soon. Thank you.
We'll see each other soon. We'll speak
Thank
soon.
you.
Thank you. Bye.